For China, the Starlink satellite network poses a threat to its security. That is why researchers from that country have analyzed strategies that can allow the neutralization of this network that tries to provide broadband internet from space. Before continuing, make sure you are subscribed to our channel and activate the bell to be aware of the Elon Musk environment. The Starlink satellite system, owned by Elon Musk, seems to be making China uncomfortable. And it is that, according to what was pointed out by Live Science, a group of Chinese military researchers has requested that a hard-kill type weapon be developed, or in Spanish, sudden death, to destroy the satellite system, since this could threaten the national security of the country. Keep in mind that internet use is not free in China and is heavily censored by the government. Researchers are uneasy about Starlink's enormous potential for military applications and the need for China to develop countermeasures to monitor, disable, or even destroy the growing mega constellation of satellites. It should be remembered that Starlink is a satellite broadband internet network developed by Musk's company SpaceX, which aims to provide internet access to customers anywhere in the world. To achieve this, you only need a Starlink satellite dish, which allows you to connect to the satellites. Since the launch of the first Starlink satellites in 2019, SpaceX has put more than 2,300 of them into low Earth orbit, and the company plans to send up to 42,000 satellites into space to form a gigantic mega constellation. SpaceX recently signed a contract with the U.S. Department of Defense to develop new technology based on the Starlink platform, including sensitive instruments capable of detecting and tracking hypersonic weapons traveling at 5 times the speed of sound or even faster. Fast in the Earth's atmosphere? For this reason, and taking into account the unprecedented scale, complexity, and flexibility of Starlink, experts believe that the Chinese army will be forced to develop new anti-satellite capabilities and update its space surveillance systems to obtain super sharp images in order to be able to identify unusual features or any potential threats. While noting that China has demonstrated its ability to destroy satellites with a missile, they acknowledge that this method could produce a large amount of space debris and the cost would be too high compared to a system consisting of many small, relatively low-cost satellites. The Starlink constellation constitutes a decentralized system, the experts add. The confrontation is not about individual satellites, but about the entire system. This requires some low-cost, high-efficiency measures, they conclude. China has already come close to colliding with Starlink satellites. Last year, he turned to the UN to complain that the country's space station was forced to carry out emergency maneuvers to avoid close encounters with Starlink satellites in July and October 2021. A combination of soft and hard kill methods should be adopted to render some Starlink satellites inoperable and destroy the constellation's operating system, researchers led by Ren Yuanjun, who is part of the Strategic Support Force, wrote in the paper. Space weapons are divided into 2 categories, those that physically attack targets, such as missiles, and those that do not attack, such as jamming weapons and laser weapons. China already has multiple methods to disable satellites. Among them are microwave jammers that can disrupt communications or destroy electrical components, powerful millimeter resolution lasers that can capture high-resolution images and blind satellite sensors, cyber weapons to hack satellite networks, and long-range anti-satellite missiles, ASAT, to destroy them, according to the U.S. Department of Defense. However, the researchers say that these measures, which are effective against individual satellites, will not be enough to kill Starlink. The Starlink constellation constitutes a decentralized system. The confrontation does not have to do with individual satellites, but with the entire system, the researchers indicated. They also outlined how an attack on the Starlink system would require some low-cost, high-efficiency measures. First, what is being proposed is that China build its own spy satellites to better control Starlink, find better ways to hack its systems, and develop more efficient methods to shoot down multiple satellites in the network. This could mean deploying lasers, microwave weapons, or smaller satellites that could be used to disable Starlinks. China also wants to compete directly with Starlink by launching its own satellite network. Called Xinhuan or StarNet, it also aims to provide paying customers with global internet access. Unsurprisingly, China has eagerly copied Elon Musk's SpaceX to achieve its own space ambitions. China's Long March 2C rocket, for example, which China launched in the summer of 2019, had parts that were virtually identical to those used to steer the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. China is not the only state actor showing an interest in interfering with Musk's Starlink satellites. Russia also tried to block Starlink's internet service in Ukraine and failed. Starlink has resisted Russian cyber warfare hacking and interference attempts so far, but they are ramping up their efforts, Musk tweeted in May. For sure, nobody knows how all these threats to Elon Musk's controversial satellite system will end. The truth is that more and more countries are speaking out on the matter, each one defending their own, and also their interests. So far, the video has come. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time.